Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today we're going to be talking about Brandon Aiyuk requesting a trade from the San Francisco 49ers. As star wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk has officially requested a trade from San Francisco, reported by Bleacher Report and other sources. Aiyuk, after having a great season in 2023, putting up 1,300 receiving yards with 7 touchdowns, 16 game starts, had a great season, but now wants to be one of the top, highest paid wide receivers in the NFL. Look, I don't blame him for wanting his money, but I think he wants too much of that money, to be honest. I want to go to some of the highest paid wide receivers in the NFL. This is an area where he wants to be. Number one is obviously Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is making $35 million a year. His total contract's $140. Number two, A.J. Brown, $32 million a year. His total contract's $96 million. Amon-Ra St. Brown, his total contract is $30.2 million a year. He's making $120 million, a little bit over $120 million on his contract. Tyreek Hill, the final guy I'm going to be listing, $30 million a year. He makes $120 million on his contract. And then, so I just believe that Brandon Aiyuk, I wouldn't say, I don't think he wants to be I don't think he wants to be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. I could be wrong. I think he knows he's not going to get more money than what Justin Jefferson has. But I could see him being a guy who could want more money than A.J. Brown or want more money than Amon-Ra St. Brown. And that's just, that's just to me, there's no way the 49ers would give him that much money. I honestly think I think he wants $120 million, which is what two guys like Tyreek Hill and Amon-Ra St. Brown have gotten from their teams. And if you look at, I'm not going to go over Tyreek Hill because I don't feel like there's any reason to have to compare Tyreek Hill and Brandon Aiyuk, but just want to compare Brandon Aiyuk and Amon-Ra St. Brown with each other. Amon-Ra St. Brown just got a 4-year, $120 million deal. That's the number I think Brandon Aiyuk wants. Brandon Aiyuk had both guys play the same amount of games at 16 games a year, or 16 games this year. And then with receptions, 75 receptions for Brandon Aiyuk, while Amon-Ra St. Brown had 119, and Brandon Aiyuk had 1,300 receiving yards this past season with 7 touchdowns. Great numbers, right? But here's Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had 1,500 receiving yards, 15 receiving yards this season with 10 touchdowns. And also important to note that Amon-Ra St. Brown is 2 years younger than Brandon Aiyuk. And not only is he 2 years younger, but I think this is very important when giving a star wide receiver big money. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been selected to 2 Pro Bowl appearances and 1-time All-Pro, while Brandon Aiyuk has never been selected to a Pro Bowl and has never been elected to an All-Pro. So, look, when you compare him, just Amon-Ra St. Brown, the 3rd highest paid wide receiver, to Brandon Aiyuk, I think you could argue that he could be the 5th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. I don't think it'd be a problem if you gave him 4 years, $100 million deal, where you're giving him $25 million a year. That's a lot of money. And I think that's good money for someone who just had such a great season with 1,300 receiving yards, 7 receiving touchdowns, had a great year. But I just don't see him getting the same or more money than guys like Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is a great comparison of, as why Brandon Aiyuk should not be making that type of money. Amon-Ra's younger, he has better numbers, and has been selected to the Pro Bowls and the All-Pros. Let me know your thoughts on Aiyuk requesting a trade in the comment section. I also wanted to note that I think there are some teams, if you're the 49ers and you're going to accept this trade request, it's reported that they don't want to move him, but if you have to move him, if he's not going to, he doesn't want to play, if you're not going to give him the money, there are certain teams I think you have to stay away from doing business with if they call you and want Brandon Aiyuk. I think the certain teams, of course, this pretty much obtains to any NFL team when they're trading a star player. Any team in the NFC West, in their division, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Cardinals, nope. You cannot have Brandon Aiyuk. I think teams, your competitors in the NFC, like the Packers, the Lions, the Eagles, the Cowboys, Brandon Aiyuk is not available. The Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Bengals, I think some of the top threats in the AFC. I think those are some teams who could use a big a star wide receiver like, Brandon Aiyuk. If John Lynch gets a phone call from one of those three teams or one of the four, top competitor teams that they have in the NFC, hang up the phone. I think there are some other teams that, you should be targeting to potentially, move Brandon Aiyuk to, these certain teams that have actually been reported to be interested in Brandon Aiyuk. You got the Broncos, you got the Steelers, you got the Commanders, you got the Patriots, and I also put maybe the Bills. The Bills, they might be a threat to San Francisco if they add in Brandon Aiyuk, because then Josh Allen finally has a weapon. But something I've seen people say on social media is that this could be a smart move if you give Brandon Aiyuk to the Bills, get a nice draft pick because they need a wide receiver bad, that, maybe potentially you could see the Bills be more of a threat to the Chiefs. That could be a way of knocking out the Chiefs, is what I've seen people say. But I really don't think. Look, I think if you add in Brandon Aiyuk to the Bills' offense, they're a lot better. They're still a good team in the AFC. But do they take out the Chiefs, who've improved offensively this offseason? I don't think so. But I think if you look at the teams like the Patriots, the Commanders, the Steelers, and the Broncos, who obviously, who become better teams if they add in Brandon Aiyuk, maybe their playoff chances go up if they add in Brandon Aiyuk, mainly probably the Steelers and the Patriots and the Commanders. I wouldn't say the Broncos are really a playoff team with Brandon Aiyuk. I think the Steelers, if you add in Brandon Aiyuk, are most likely probably a playoff team. I think the Commanders and Patriots are teams that probably don't make the playoffs, but are a lot better than they were last year and potentially have a chance to make the playoffs if you add in Brandon Aiyuk. But those are the teams that are not going to really hurt you if you trade Brandon Aiyuk. But if you have the teams like the Packers, the Lions, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bengals, who, quite possibly could be interested in Brandon Aiyuk, absolutely not. Because this is a 49ers team that's still trying to win. They still got the pieces to win. Makes it a little bit less hard with Brandon Aiyuk being gone, but so I think that the best team they could trade him to, in my opinion, would probably be the Steelers or the Patriots, because he's not a threat in the NFC with the Commanders. The Broncos, I wouldn't think they have the best draft assets to give. So I think the Steelers, the Patriots would be the best bet for the 49ers to move Brandon Aiyuk. Let me know your thoughts on the trade request in the comment section, and peace out.